I forgot to see if we have a video.
I
Todd
bet we
Spivey,
do.
do we have a
I
video?
bet we do. We'll unveil or veil.
We should. Oh, here it is. Nice.
Didn't we all grow up thinking that we were going to be somebody special? But as we grow up, life gets busy. We go to school, we get jobs, we have kids, and we get into routines, don't we? And we go from dreaming of a life of significance to living a life of struggle.
See, I wasn't just broke, I was broken. And for the next 6 years, I fell into a rut. And slowly but surely, I forgot how to dream.
Have you ever felt that disconnect between the life you're currently living and the greatness that you know is inside of you, like this chasm between your potential and your current situation? But what if greatness is actually something within you that's waiting to be uncovered?
We are all becoming something with every breath we take, every thought we think, every decision we make. In this very moment, you are becoming something different than you were in the moment before. The question we should all ask is, am I happy with what I'm becoming?
I learned a long time ago that you can't go back and have a brand new start, but you can start now and have a brand new end.
I don't know what you're watching. I don't know who's watching. I don't know why you're watching, but what if this is your second shot at life? What if this is it?
Stepping into the culture here at Symmetry that was created by Brendan Ellison, Casey Watkins, and Brian Pope gave me a precious thing, opportunity. The opportunity to decide who I was becoming and not to just be dragged by the constantly flowing river of life.
If you're sitting out there and you're stuck, if you're sitting out there and you're desperate for a change, me too. Me too. I was too. But I'm telling you, there's hope. See, you're part of a company that doesn't care about the mess you show up with. No. See, here, you get rewarded for the heart you play with.
Maybe the problem with my life was not that I was unlovable, it's not that I wasn't good enough, it's that I quit everything. And what if I didn't quit? Where would I be?
You've been spending so much time looking for an answer, praying for an answer, hoping for an answer, waiting for an answer, and I'm telling you today, you are an answer.
I think most people in America are not happy with the picture they painted. But see, you come to Symmetry. Symmetry has lots of easels. They have lots of canvases. They'll give you an easel, they'll give you a canvas. They have an unbelievable amount of paint, all different colors, and you have access to all of that, where you can paint you a new picture to live in. See, I believe that Symmetry is a company of destiny. I believe there's something special about this company.
I've said it before, but I hope you all listen to me, that it's important to design your life that will allow you to dream like you'll live forever, but being so intentional that every day could be your last. Turn those some days into some today.
Because 10 years from now, I want you to look back at this moment on this day and know that it was the day you decided to be great.
If you're ready to get in the cockpit, pull back that throttle, and fly, we can take this thing to a whole new level.
Man.
Do we have a video?
Dude,
Come on.
have a
Video.
video. Damn.
Come on.
Dang, I think we just end the call right now.
I had like goosebumps, and every one of those speeches was killer. You see Matt? Oh, God.
Man.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Good luck, Shawn, Shannon. We look forward to it, buddy.
Don't worry. He's got some time between that and for me to screw things up enough to where he'll be set up just fine. Oh, man.
Very fitting video, though, right now, Brandon, for where
Yeah,
we are.
for sure. We said it on the last call.
Yeah.
We said it on the last call for everybody that missed the opportunity to go to Matt Smith's memorial. Completely understand that maybe you couldn't travel, maybe you couldn't hop on Zoom. There will be a video that we'll be sharing, but it was without a doubt the best memorial service and celebration of life that I've ever been a part of. And anybody that wasn't able to make it there, you guys would have been so proud of the way that Matt was honored.
Yep.
Because it was special. And the way that, hearing everyone from Symmetry speak, and it also made us realize that space out there at Camp Rockmont, where we've had so many events over the years, from Rocks to Rocks challenges to dodgeball tournaments to other things, is a really special place for us. And so we want to do everything we can to try to put something together to get us all back out there, because there were so many people there, Casey, that were even emotional. It's like, even being back there, obviously for something that was so challenging for all of us, even being back there added a level of emotion that was, it was special. So,
it brought back a lot of good memories, and every one of those memories I can think of had Matt Smith in it. I think everyone was feeling that.
And they brought that up several times, from dodgeball tournaments to Matt's team winning to, we won't say whose team losing, but it was just a really, really cool event. So got some numbers to share, and there's some good numbers, Casey. I don't know if you know this.
We told you it was coming, didn't we?
I said, I told you behind the scenes, I said, we're going to break a record by the second or third week in October. And they proved me wrong. They broke an all-time record this week, the last week of September, I should say, last week. And I shouldn't have underestimated, because people are promoting the slingshot as they should be. People are earning the slingshot as they should be. People are buying more leads because we have more leads to buy. People are controlling their activity better than they ever have. And, it's been a good refresher also, Spivey, just to talk to newer agents that haven't had an opportunity even yet to work fresh A leads, that are coming in and working things like A2s and A3 leads and crushing it.
Yeah.
And there's about 100,000 to 150,000. The number changes every day. I think there's about 130,000. Joe, does that sound about right? 138,000 leads just in the A3 category. And everybody over here is like, those aren't going to be any good. And then somebody new comes in, they're like, oh yeah, watch this. In a couple of hours is booking appointments like this with them, utilizing the SBLI products to go in there and find, if they've already gotten something taken care of, not by us, but by somebody else, if it's a better situation for them, then we have the ability to go in and find them something. So we say all that to say, record week in production, writers, apps, licensed recruits was a record week. And as we said on the last call, it never fails this time of year. You're always going to bounce up against a record. I would say that the goal, if I'm an agency owner, should be, how many records can I break in a row? How many record weeks can I have in the last quarter of the year? Because they're out there. There's more leads for you to buy. There's more opportunities for you to go help people. They're there. It's just about who can work. I was watching this special, and then I was, as you know, guys, I'm building a house. And the worst part about building a house right now, and this is Casey going on for our buildings as well, so it's commercial and residential. If you need windows, good luck getting windows, which is crazy to me, right? So I finally got windows into a house that I'm building, and there's a lot of windows. It's like a whole glass wall type thing. And all I'm thinking is, man, if somebody hits a rock or a golf ball or something on a lawnmower, I'm in trouble, And I said, what makes these? So I was thinking, like, what makes these windows different or unique? And then you begin to think about windows that are going into homes in Puerto Rico, or windows that are going into homes in Florida or California on the coast, not California because they don't have hurricanes, but say Florida or New Orleans or Texas or some of these places. What makes a window different? And the thing that makes windows different is their ability to not crack. under pressure, right? And so when I start to think about like how our lives and what lessons we can kind of pull from that as agents or from agency owners, it's such a great question to kind of pose to yourself. How tough am I? This is a business that is for tough people that don't crack when things get just a little bit difficult. And if there's a challenge we can make for the month of October outside of we're going to control our activity, we're going to buy more leads, and we're going to do all of the things that we can control to get a better result, I would say that the number one thing I would like to see people do is those things, plus work on how tough I can be as an individual so that I don't crack when I get hung up on, or when I get told I don't want to buy something, or when I get told you're the fourth person that's called me, or when I get told any number of negative things. Because guess what, Casey? There are hundreds of negative things that you can be told in any given moment in the insurance business, right? There's only a handful of really positive things that you can get told, but the people that go through the crap the most and don't crack find a heck of a lot more of those positive things simply because they don't crack. And you're looking at the Marlon Faulkner, or the video a minute ago with Marlon Faulkner saying the exact same thing, you know, and some of these speakers saying the exact same thing. The difference with me is that I was willing to go through the crap and I didn't quit. I didn't crack. So that's what I would say. When you control your activity, be willing to go through it, be willing to get beat up, and know that the person that gets told no the most, especially if you're going to come in and work A2s, A3s, DGX leads, people are going to tell you no. That's why those leads cost $5 or $9, right? But you can't crack, Casey. That was always your claim to fame too, buddy. You never cracked.
Just run through those no's as quickly as you can.
All you can do. Here's a whole heck of a lot of people that didn't crack. Last week, Brandon Atterbury, which is very close to Attaboy. Atterbury was our top recruit for new agent for production, new writer. Benjamin Schneider for the month, $16,218. Way to go, Schneider. So Todd Spivey, what did Schneider do for a living before he found the insurance business?
Well, let me tell you, what did he do before insurance?
What did he do before insurance?
I think
he was a pretzel guy, right? Schneider, is it?
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe he was the pretzel guy. I was thinking he was like a landlord tenant super, like somebody that works on apartment buildings when stuff goes wrong. Schneider, remember? Am I the oldest one here where I remember that? Who the individual was that was on that old 70s or 80s TV show? These people in the chat, I'll let you guys know, they know who Schneider was. He was a guy that would show up on one of those old 70s or 80s sitcoms and fix everybody's stuff when it broke down in the apartment. Lori Hamilton, Edward Pritchett, what? Christopher Leake, number one for the week with $22,158. Number one rider for the month, Lee Jedlicka, edging out Shawn Hogue.
Brandon, let's stop for a minute and talk about Edward Pritchett.
Okay.
Went to dinner with him, had the privilege to sit and have dinner with him and Jacob Pogue, which, let me tell you, a lot of people would pay a lot of money to be able to be a guest at that table.
Yeah, it's true.
Edward Pritchett, as you're going to see in a minute, his organization did over $1 million of business last week on a 120% contract with a team doing over $1 million a week. Do you think Edward Pritchett's all in? $20,000 in production on his own pen at 120% contract on top of $1 million a week producing agency.
That's what I want to see, man. Like if you want to go out and create an all-time high for your week, for your month, for your organization, start at home. Start right where you are.
That's called full gas, full send. Edward's in full send mode.
That's right.
Yeah, let me spotlight someone real quick on this list too that I don't even know her yet. Number 5, Wendy Octanner. So she's worked with one of our newest awesome quality coaches, Justin Finney, and I know she'll have a lot to say in the chat, but I actually want to pull her on a call soon because they did a sales mindset, virtual sales thing back in the day that changed her world, and gosh, she's been killing it. So really excited to pull out those success secrets, and good to see the consistency there, right? So good job, Wendy.
That's right. We call her the Wendy Octanner Overdrive. All right, here we go. Frozen, but I'm not anymore. App count. Javon Spencer. He don't mess around. 24 applications. 66 apps for Misty Hutton. Mason Van Meter's like, what the heck? Lord. Oh man, Allison Smith, top med sup writer for the week and the month. Congratulations. Just kind of stepping over med sups, no leads or anything, just asking some questions. John Berlin, the top disability writer for the week, and Shannon Thompson Heggie, $7,610 on DI for the month. Eunice Amosigo, $8,400 in IUL premium, and Thomas Sunshine, $25,200.
Tommy Sunshine.
Tommy Sunshine.
A lot of good things coming IUL way too, guys.
Yes.
Getting ready to do DFL right here, and I got Resman in the office with me. But man, guys, if you haven't tapped into Jeff Sigworth out there and the training and the knowledge he has about IULs, you're really missing out, and your clients are missing some great opportunities. The guy's next level. His ability, his kindness, his heart, who he is as a person, special opportunity for y'all to dig into.
Yep.
He is. And I was thinking about Tommy Sunshine, and I was thinking that's probably the best name to have in every profession, unless you're like a mobster or a hitman.
Yeah.
A boxer. Yeah.
I mean, even Tommy Sunshine as a boxer's, it's not intimidating, but if you show up trying to collect money and they call you Tommy Sunshine, I don't know, maybe it's reverse psychology there too. It can make it really scary.
Sure.
I'd be scared if anybody showed up to collect money on me, which is why I don't owe anybody any money. Step one. Ryan Federico, $422,218. It's a great week, Ryan. Elizabeth Jano, $569,400 on the recruiting, or excuse me, on the annuity board, number one. Way to go. Everybody over here too for the week. Leidecker, Hardy. That's some good weeks, man. All right. Look at Musafir. What do you think about that?
Yeah, baby. It's a nice week, Mark. Nice work, bud. George White round out number 2. So for those of you DFL Nation out there, next week, Tuesday, it's going to be a real big DFL webinar. We're going to have Todd Schuhart. His name is Todd Schuhart, but I call him Todd Schuchart because he's climbing the charts and going to be a top producer here shortly. But he's going to go through the whole texting, automation, and flow and best practices, and we'll have that stuff on the up on HQ. But you're not going to want to miss it because everything from the introduction text all the way down to confirming and reminding the appointment. And this week, his show ratio on those appointments are 100%. Set up 11 last week. So he's going to go through the entire process for everybody. And one more update for all of you. For all you agents, talk to your upline and figure out your plan for when and if you're ready to do DFL, because we are launching on Friday inside of Quility U. The on-demand certification courses go live in Quility U. So talk to your upline, do your game plan on when it's ready for you and your organization to get certified for DFL, and that will be live on Friday, you guys. So big day Friday for certification. If you're on DFL leads, you really want to be on that Tuesday call at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Great job, DFL Nation. We're talking about record-breaking weeks. Every single week, fourth quarter is going to be a record-breaking week with everything we have going on. Proud of all of you.
That's right. It was a record-breaking weekend. I was talking to you Monday morning first thing, and you're like, did you see the numbers that just came in over the weekend? So shaping up.
Got some great things going. Thanks, guys.
We did in a weekend what we normally do in a week.
Whoop.
That's awesome.
I love it. Top base shop recruits. Look at Griff Martin.
You think Griff's on to something?
He's lapping them. That's what he's doing. Top direct recruits, Miranda Martin. She's been working with, she's had a couple people working with Max today, I believe. Eddie Pritchett had 27 direct recruits on top of his number 2 personal producer act for the week. Really unbelievable. Top base shot, all 18 of Griff's recruits were licensed.
You're scoring at home, Brandon. That's 100%.
That is a 100%. I love it. 22 Okay, 27. So 22, not quite 100%, but close. I mean, it's good. 22 licensed recruits for Easy Eddie Pritchett and his direct board too. Good job, Delaney and Miranda Martin as well. First time writers for the week, Christopher Clark, number 1 in the base, and Mike and Jennifer Colburn, number 1 in the directs with 7. Way to go, Pogue and Kimbrell as well. Got some SNAs, Casey. Amran Abdullahi, Benjamin Marquez, Brianna Rodriguez, Carlene Sewell, Catherine Austin, Christopher Johns, Daniel Keterling, Laura Obadako, Raquel Rogers, and Tyler Walker. Way to go, all
Very
you
nice.
SNAs. Next step, top producer, elite producer, key leader, top key leader for the week, Cara DiNardo. Top key leader for the month, Martin Kimboy. Attaboy, Kimboy. $88,000. Top AO for the week, Floyd Barnett. Top AO for the month, Jerry Choate with $165,150. Way to go, Jerry. Top agency directors, Larry and Ann Griffin, $119,000. Larry and Ann Griffin for the month, $468,623. Way to go. Look how close it was there for 2 through 5.
Yeah.
Ryan and Rachel Jernigan, Ian Graham's killing it. Sarah Bailey, Rob Puckett. Way to go. Rad and Beyond, or just Rad, $237,000 for Eileen Balmer makes her in first place for the week and the month, $731,000. Look at Trey, man. Trey's killing it too. Melissa Weigel. Seems like Melissa Weigel like just became a direct and she's already at like $477,000. Way to go. Mike and Sarah Pappas, number 1 managing vice presidents for the week with $116,000, but George and Janet took it for the month, $415,707. They just broke out as directs too.
Yep.
It's like 3 months in a row where they had to do like, I don't know, 250,000 or whatever the number. I don't have it in front of me. It's crazy how quickly it kind of snowballs for them. Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell, top SVPs for the week. Jim Bob Spilldinner with almost $750,000 for the month. Way to go, Jimbo. Top executive vice president, Mr. Carl Miller for the week, $187 for the month, $552. Whoops, I froze up and then there we go. Lynn Watkins, $665. Pogue. Looks like he's gaining on him a little bit, just saying. 1.4 to 2.5. You about $1 million behind, Pogue. You got it. Way to go, Lindale. $2.5 million for the month. Not too shabby. Edward Pritchett for the week at $1 million, almost $4 million for the month. Marshall Whalen, 1.128 for the week, 3.728 for the month. Battling it out at the top. It's great to see.
High at the top.
Yeah, man. Did you see all that production, by the way? Just look at that.
Yep.
How about that record? Have we ever had a top 2 overall agency in production also be in the top 5 in personal production? Has that ever happened before?
Maybe if Pritchett's done it once before. He knows what's up. Jacob Pogue, the top direct with 271. And the top direct for the month with $760,982. Top base, of course, it's Edward Pritchett because he had that monster personal production. Would have won, looks like, without it. Way to go, easy. And for the week, $203,000 base shop. Let's talk about that for just a second, shall we? Let's say just you issue all that. You won't, but let's say $200,000 to make math simple. You got probably an average spread, I would guess, of 35 points. What is that, like $70,000? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, if you net place 150,000, which he's probably net placing more than that, but even at 150,000 at 35, that's 52 grand for a month, in addition to all the other goodies.
He's going to become
and you write $20,000 on your own pen at 120 contract, you pick up 24,000.
Yep.
Basically, Easy Edward Pritchett can go out there and pay cash for any car he wants.
Well, his bonus will be over 100,000 this month for sure.
Yep.
So,
Eddie, if you're listening, buddy, I like Teslas.
Oh, I do too.
The Tesla truck, by the way.
I don't think that's out yet. You need to jump on it while he's hot. He's got all this cash flowing in. You don't need to sign up for something that may not be ready for a year. Not like Edward's going to go backwards, but still. All right. What do we got here? Announcements. We do appreciate your feedback, questions, and suggestions. As we grow, communication grows. You can get you a support ticket feature in HQ to ensure your valuable feedback isn't lost. Please use the support ticket in HQ to send us your questions, feedback, suggestions. And we want to ensure your communication is handled in an appropriate amount of time. And this feature allows us to track your initial communication and our response to you. Well done. Although I think that might have been the longest announcement that we've ever had. I think I still got there pretty good. You have Spivey, a call with a special guest on this Friday. Who you got? What you got?
Well, actually, we always have a special guest. This week's going to be different. It is just going to be Todd talking.
Oh,
just through the last couple of weeks, guys, and there's some tough times. I've gotten to witness. I've gotten to talk to a lot of individuals across the company, and I've gotten to just see firsthand how much dedication there is to make sure that we live on and we make sure Matt's legacy continues. And so I'm going to be sharing some behind the scenes of what a real company does in tough times and how we move forward, and show a little insight into the culture that you guys have really built here.
Gonna be a good one.
Gonna be a good call.
Bring your Kleenex.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this, man. Impacts made at the conferences. Pritchett's team, $52,000 for St. Jude's Hospitals. Wayland's team, $50,000 for Make-A-Wish Eastern Tennessee chapter. Mike and Sarah Pappas's organization raised $25,000 for Project 150. Love the quote. Wanted to support a local charity that would leave Las Vegas better than the way we came. Project 150 has helped more than 5,000 homeless and displaced youth in Clark County to graduate high school.
Wow.
God,
very cool.
Man, I love that, guys.
Yep.
Love it. And that leads us to this cool announcement. It's more of a save the date for November the 17th of this year. We'll have our Magic of a Wish event, our impact event. We did this last year and raised a ton of money for Make-A-Wish. Casey and I had to throw ourselves into the pool.
Yeah.
And I think we'll hopefully get to do that again. We might have to raise the bar a little bit, but as long as
I'll
heat the pool up this
year too if we need to.
Wayland and Jimmy and all the directs, Delaney that were bidding, that were willing to invest $12,000 for TVs that cost $600. We're going to raise some money. We certainly are. Put it in your calendars. Wednesday, November the 17th. It's going to be a good one. Also, we have our Connect call, which is also tomorrow, with Whitney, Zay, and special guest Kira Gainey. The journey is worth it. If you have not been plugging into the Connect calls, you need to start with this one. You won't regret it. I promise. It's going to be a good one. A couple of other events. We got our normal stuff going on Thursday, tomorrow with Mr. Todd Spivey and Shawn Pierce, DX and call-in leads. I love that. Also tomorrow, we got our final expense webinar. Monday, we have our normal thing by Mr. Trey Alderson Cloutier. And then we've got our DFLIVIN call on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. Mr. Spivey, I wanted to talk to you for just a second. And I know also, actually, before I go to you, I thought I was going to have a slide.
Good. You made me nervous.
That's what I was texting. We do have a slide. It was just in the updated version of your PowerPoint. But I got it right here.
Cool.
Can you walk through it real quick if you want? Because I'm sure folks would like to know all about it. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
For me. Just going to give you all a quick update on SBLI as we've been getting some questions as things have been rolling out, and just want to make sure we address those for you and give you an idea of where we're at and where we're headed. So,
by the way,
that
get some awesome feedback on this quality level term stuff, guys.
Yeah,
everyone's loving it.
It has been an awesome uptick in sales right out of the gates. But just a little bit of updates, because the main questions we're getting, and just want to make sure everybody's clear. Out of the gates with SBLI, they're available to appoint up to 8 states. We will be adding all states, but we're trying to balance moving stuff through the queue and getting everybody set up. So make sure that we're aware of the 8 states. If you have that many that you are already licensed in and want to be appointed in, that you let us know so we can make sure those are there. For overrides, however, you do not need to be appointed to receive overrides through SBLI, except in the lovely states of Florida and Virginia. So if you have downloads in those states, you will need to be licensed and appointed. We'll manage the appointment side, but just make sure that that's there so that you can receive those override commissions. All agents must submit at least 3 cases with other carriers before your appointment will be sent to SBLI. We are tracking all of this internally for you. And as soon as that threshold of 3 submitted application is reached, we will generate the contract, send it over to you. All you got to do is prove it and send it on so we can get you set up and ready to go. No need to send a request once your 3 applications.
I will say that there's 2 things I want to talk about there. Why that is first, is because obviously these are instant issue products, and we have to be able to offer the actual applicant or the actual policy to the client. So people have to go through the background process to make sure that we're not letting a bunch of crooks out there sell some insurance, get and commit some fraud and that sort of thing. The one area I will say that this can be waived, if you have an agent coming over that has a lot of experience and they're from maybe a competitor, for example, and they're currently tied up with other carriers, then just let us know, let Bree know. And Doug, maybe you have a process for that already, but if you'll let us know that, then we will go to SBLI on your behalf and go ahead and get you contracted.
There's an appointment request process right available in HQ that you can send it through, or any of our directs are welcome to reach out to Brianna directly on behalf of any agents that you have ready to go.
Perfect.
We'll get it done. So good news is any agent who has already met that threshold is already in the queue, already in process. So no need to make a request. We have worked through a bulk of them. I believe that the only folks we're waiting on are agents to confirm links at this point for that initial batch. So if you haven't looked in your email or your spam box, make sure you check and confirm that link so we can get it sent over to SBLI. One of the main confusing parts, and this is actually new for us as well, so just want to make sure I call this out. In the beginning, as soon as you are appointed at SBLI, you will receive 2 initial emails from SBLI. The first one, it's just your login and your password to get into the backside of their platform. So what that will actually offer you is that's where you will be able to go and see your commissions and cases that have been submitted and approved. So that's what that portal is for. As soon as that appointment is processed and done at SBLI, the work has begun to set up your unique e-application. And that's the difference, is each application we have for SBLI is tied to you, the agent. So that process can take up to 5 days, typically much faster than that. However, once that process is complete, you will actually receive a notification from Quility that your application is ready to go. Your application is accessible to you from the carrier page inside of HQ. So all you got to do once you get that notification is go check your HQ. If it's not there, refresh your page and it'll be there, and you can click and it will take you directly into the e-app, and the e-app already knows who you are. So that is how all of that works. So this is going to get faster as we work through the backlog and any remaining agents, and that process will start being much closer than 5 days, typically much faster than that as well. So the last one is advanced commission. So we've been able to increase the cap immediately to 1,500. We were getting some questions about that. An additional increase is coming soon. We're working with them actively, and I've been working with them all day today, actually, just making sure we're clear. So we'll have an update on that to make sure all of that is moving in the right direction for you.
Yeah, Doug, just for a point of clarity, because I know we understand what that means, but for those out there, if we can kind of explain what that means and why that's important, because a lot of people who wrote an SBLI product right out of the gate saw that they might have got 50, 60, 70% of the comp that they're expecting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's the 1,500 now, and that's been raised. So it should affect much less people moving forward. But essentially what that means is it's per policy. So you have to be able to apply the advanced commission, which is 75% to that APD. And then that's what's available for advanced for the hierarchy. So that's where we got our wires crossed in the beginning a little bit on this. You know, when you guys do such a great job out there building such wide and deep hierarchies and we get new carriers on board, it's a new experience for them as well. So, but that piece is, so if the cap does apply, the good news is they will release the back end sooner than the typical 9-month wait period as well. So you'll begin to be able to get that in months 5 and 6 moving forward. As that starts to happen, they'll release it earlier. Once the cap is raised and that's applied, this shouldn't be an issue for anybody anymore. And we should have an update on exactly what that will look like next week on the call. So make sure you're paying attention. If we get news and can send it out, we'll certainly send out an email, put it in a newsletter. Make sure you're reading those as well. We will have updates there as well.
Perfect. They're working to change it as quickly as possible. They didn't know what they were getting into. And their terminology was a little bit different than what we were accustomed to. So if you would like to continue until they get this fixed, continue writing Foresters, Mutual of Omaha, American Amicable, Marico, UHL, NLG, hell, even Manhattan Life, if you want to. Just keep writing whatever you're comfortable writing until we kind of get that cap fixed, and you'll be good. We do apologize for not catching that sooner, though. Sometimes you just don't know until you know. You could even read the contract and it looks very similar, and then it's just the way they interpret things are a little bit different. The good news is they're a fantastic partner, and they're scrambling and putting all of their resources into getting it fixed because it was confusion on their end as well.
They are fired up and excited over there. I mean,
they are. They're great people.
Massive cases come through. It's just
can't wait for you guys to.
And the good news is it still takes less than 10 minutes to get your client covered. So that's
cool. That's crazy. Took me less than 10 minutes. Also, I got my own policy, and I would say if we're going through a process of trying to break records, then why don't everybody on this call? We all need more insurance. Why don't you just go get you an SBLI policy? I don't know if they advance commissions. I don't care if they advance commissions. You still get a little bit. They do. I mean, for personal business, I'm saying okay, go write yourselves policies. Check it out. Go through the process. Be the first one before you sell clients to go through the process on yourself. You may have some older policies with other companies, and this may even give you a little bit better rate. Maybe not. Maybe you need additional coverage, whatever you need. Go take advantage. Doug's going to be monitoring the chat there, Casey, because I know there's a lot of good questions coming in.
Doug, when is it going to be on the DTC platform again? That's what I'm waiting on for my policy.
Couple weeks.
Okay,
getting close. Yep. Nice.
I'll let you know real soon.
I should be more vague.
Sense.
A few weeks.
Yeah, we'll have a firm update. I'm confident in a pretty quick resolution, but we'll have a firm update here in the next couple of days.
Doug, the last thing I'll say to you, great job on your announcements, but I don't know if you have a selfie ring over there or not. You're looking a little dark.
I know. I tried to turn on this bright one. Maybe it's my hat, but then Zoom just makes me look real bald. So
what's wrong with that?
Oh, well, I just got to really pull the trigger one day and just go full shave. And
I mean, look how good Jacob Pug looks.
Exactly. I got a little pointy ears, though. I mean, I just got a little pointy ears.
Well,
self-conscious.
Probably picking ourselves apart on Zoom.
There's some weird surgery that you can.
Hey, you can get them pinned. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe if you pay for it. If you pay for it, then I'll.
You look very aerodynamic when you do that too.
Yeah.
That would have really helped in your swimming days.
I mean, I'm 42 and I'm married, and Whitney's stuck with me, so I might as well just let it all loose at this point.
I wouldn't say let it all loose, but maybe you could start with shaving your head. We should probably try to get this back on track somewhat. Shawn Shannon, who does not have these problems, look at this beautiful head of hair.
Look at that hairline. Look at that hairline.
And look at just how bright his picture is there, his screen is there. I mean,
a lot of really, really bad Zooms and a lot of scathing feedback to get anywhere near this point. So yeah.
Well, it looks like your selfie ring is at least a lot bigger and better than than Doug's. So very happy to have you on, sir, a senior vice president that is absolutely killing it. You know, kind of, would you say peaking around 550,000-ish a month? Obviously for October, that's about to go up because you're about to break an all-time high, which is really exciting. But you know, the thing that we've always loved about you, Shawn, is you're one of the best teachers that we've always had, from either conferences, but also from webinars or conference calls like this one. You always have a way of kind of putting things out there in a way that are extremely well received and really well understood, and making a huge impact on people for doing it. Shawn, your background, for those that don't know, let me see if I can remember it correctly. First off, you came here, this part I won't remember correctly, about 6-7 years ago?
Officially, I was a code number and at the very end of 2013. And if there was SNA qualification back then, I didn't get anywhere near that.
Oh, no. Before that, you were a successful mortgage broker. And then I think for several years, right? I mean, you ran a pretty big business, maybe even several offices or several businesses. And then probably, like some people can sympathize on the call, 2008 and 2009 happened, and you probably held on as long as you could. And maybe like others, maybe even a little longer than you should.
Like way longer than I should have.
Just kept waiting for it to turn back around.
No, it's gonna, like, and even though I was like, mathematically, I knew it wasn't happening.
Yeah. But you're like, I am not going to get my insurance license. Nope. I am not.
I did. I mean, I did a stint at Aflac.
Oh, yeah.
That was, so I had a health license before I had a life license, which was a blessing when I came here, especially when I was like, oh, we can do health stuff too.
Yep.
I won some trips with Aflac, and I made like $7 or $8 in doing so. And you would have thought like they were celebrating me like I was the second coming. And I was like, I have not any dollars. Like, what is this? So it was interesting.
That's funny. So you have worked your way up to the top. You didn't get off to the fastest start. I think there are so many people on the call that can kind of that can really understand and sympathize with where you were, because maybe they're even in the same position. Maybe they're trying right now to claw their way out of a previous occupation or previous business that they were in. And I just want before you get into really the meat of your call, I would love to hear some very practical advice for not just the new people that are listening in today, but maybe even the people that have been here for a year that aren't seeing the success as quickly as they would like it to. This can be a very complicated business when it comes to how we judge ourselves, you know. Well, and we see all the people around us having this great deal of success. Maybe they seem to be doing it better than we are, faster than we are. We tend to beat ourselves up rather than understand how to get better. And I'd love for you to kind of speak to that if you can.
Yeah, 100%. I think it kind of boils down to a couple different things, and none of which I was any good with. But the first one is probably compete, don't compare. Because like, I love it when somebody is super lucky and they come in and they like call a lead, and it's a 50-cent lead, and they schedule it, and then they make a sale, and they're like, this is the easiest thing ever. It's amazing. And then I'm like, okay, I would have rather you got, the crap kicked out of you and kept coming back, because like hard work is a defined necessity for longevity, but luck, I can't recalibrate luck again and again and again for somebody.
Yep.
And so like with regards to that, and I think too, the big thing, a big predictor for success in general is how well you do what you don't feel like doing. And like, that's really more than anything else. Like, if you look at me, and I probably baffle a lot of people that really have a peek behind the veil. Like, I can put it out there, like I'm the most disciplined and scheduled and organized and all these things. And that's not the case. It's just I try to put guardrails in for myself that protect me, that make sure I do income producing activities or like impact producing activities. Because I know you can't do everything, but you can do a lot of things and actually do nothing. Like, and a lot of people do that where they're like, man, I learned every single thing about every single thing and I didn't do anything. And you're like, okay, well, you didn't make any money and you're not going to be here long if you do that.
Yep.
And so, but the other part of it is I don't know, I mean, is nonstop fighting your ego, because it's like when you see others that are having success, and I was blessed. I sat down with Jacob Pogue at dinner. I sat down with a bunch of us at dinner, but I was sitting right next to Jacob, and I'm just like, because he came in a little earlier than me, and he got full-time a little earlier than me, and he got dedicated to building much earlier than I should have, and did. And I'm so impressed by him and like how much he's grown. And I was chasing his personal development, not his results. You know what I mean? Because like, okay, what did you learn? What did you do? How did you do it? Like, it's like those kind of things. And it was just humbling myself, because I could be like, oh, I'm going to compete with him. And, and he did $506,000 best week ever last week. And I'm like, almost more happy for him than I would be for us that we had like our most writers ever last week. And I'm just like, but it's just those people, and especially like Matt Smith, he was a trailblazer and he cleared paths for all of us. And it's so much gratitude for those folks. And then when you look at it, it's like, okay, like they've literally cleared this path for me to walk a little bit easier. I still have to walk it, and it's not going to be like easy. It's work, but it's social proof. Like if he can do 500, I can do, 200 or 250. And it just, and it's like that in everything. So, but if you're going through a valley, like it's an absolute necessity in the business, because it's when you get to like phase 2, frustration in the business, or like a quitting phase, like they're going to happen if they haven't happened already. But it's so critical, because it's like in that you go from learned pessimism to learned optimism, because you're just like, oh, I do see people having the success. I just have to do what they're doing long enough, not just one time, but long enough. And it's inevitable that I'll have a much higher level of success. It may be theirs, it may be less than theirs, maybe better than theirs. But it's, it's like, how do you figure out learned optimism? And that's, I mean, you spend a lot of time on growth and development, and, it's an interesting journey,
You're hitting on probably one of the most important things that especially new people, can hear, is that, man, that's so good, dude. That's really the difference maker a lot of times in people that actually just learn how to keep their head down and push through, and people that end up kind of quitting what would have been probably the best thing that's ever happened to them, and you want them to know that, you want them to hear that, man. So it's such a good message.
It really is. And I love all of this you're saying, and people are understanding why we say that you're such a fantastic teacher. And I would just add that it's in that same vein, that for new people, or for people that that aren't where they want to be yet, if you haven't failed miserably yet, you just ain't trying hard enough. And it all starts with that kind of reframing of what leads to success, or what does success look like. Man, you got to go right through the junk. I love what you said about how well do you do what you don't feel like doing? Because that will determine your success in this business every week, because it's all about activity or resources. I don't feel like investing money in leads. I don't feel like calling the leads. I don't feel like working, but I still have to, right? Because that is the necessity. And then you also said there's 2 things that I really picked up on that you should be focused on: either income producing activities or impact producing activities. And everything we do should boil into those topics. If you're doing something that does not fall into those two categories, you should try to get yourself in a position where you can hire someone as quickly as possible, because there are a lot of things that still need doing. You know what I mean? That may not feel like they're income producing right out of the gate, or that they're impact producing out of the gate. It's still have to get done. And so that's why we often say that sometimes you got to kind of get out of balance for a little while before you can find the balance that so many people are looking for, because you may have to put more hours in. You may have to, in your downtime, do some of the things that may not be in the moment income producing. But Shawn, we really appreciate you, man. The title of your call is Falling in Love, Doing It for More Than a Paycheck. I love it. And I'm going to shut up and Vail and let you introduce all the great speakers that are going to be helping you today. Appreciate you, buddy.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys for everything.
Thank you, buddy. Take it away, bud.
Awesome. All right, everybody. So Shawn Shannon here. I'm excited to be on the call direct to Symmetry, direct to the one and only Larry and Ann Griffin. Very grateful to be so, and to have, this opportunity to not only share with each and every one of you, but to share these individuals on my team that I think are so remarkable. We're blessed to be in this business together with this vehicle. I mean, really, that's what Symmetry is, a vehicle. And with vehicles, you can drive them like a bicycle, or you can drive it like a rocket ship. And so it's just like, you make that conscious choice and connection to ride this thing like a rocket ship, no matter what. The title that is our call today is Falling in Love, Doing It for More Than a Paycheck. And I really, the correlation is that your journey to success is kind of like your relationship with success. Your journey here, same thing. It's a relationship, and relationships are remarkable and can be the most enriching things in our lives. But they take work and they take longevity. People don't, marry and have a child, and then the next day they're like, okay, I'm done with that. That's ridiculous, especially if you look at it from enrichment. And so like, that's what we look at here. And I'm beyond excited to introduce these individuals that are all going to kind of come on here today and share with us. So first, I guess I'll introduce everybody, and everybody can kind of come on, and then we're going to go in a sequence. So if you guys could all unveil and say hello there to everybody, give everybody a little wave. First will be, where is Jennifer? Is she coming on too? I don't see her, but there we go. Cool. Everybody give a quick wave. These are a select group of Titans here at Symmetry, and foundational, like, rock stars, superstars on the Shannon Master. First, we have key leader and elite producer. He's in month 3 of his agency owner run, crushing it. Already over 230,000 in personal production so far this year. His team is breaking records month in and month out. That is Mr. Rich Osterhoudt. What's up there, Rich? How are you, buddy? Next, we will have elite producer, agency owner, has several people on her team on the verge of agency owner breakout, month 1, month 2, some rolling into month 3. Without a shadow of a doubt, the absolute top builder on the Shannon team, and like true building titan. Like, you see her on the leaderboards each week. You saw her this week. I think it was like 26 contracts back for her and her agency this last week. So like, if the rules are 2020, 20,000 personal production, 20 contracts back for the month, and she's like, well, I kind of misheard that. I'm just going to do that like weekly. Like, that's a recipe for Titanic success. And that is my front runner for 120, racing towards it at this point. Ms. Dana Else. Dana, what's up? All right, cool. And then we also have 3rd place in the Symmetry Open this year as a rookie agent. Crushed it. Already had 47 applications last month. Had, I think, our high water marks 96 applications in the month for the month of June, which is just amazing and stellar. Crushed it on month 1. of agency owner last month, and over 337 apps just so far this year. Wasn't even licensed before she came here in Q4 of last year. Ms. Jennifer Jivani, how are you? Hey, hey. And last but not least, top producer and agency owner, came to us via Warm Market, started working in a support role in my office, and was a titan in the making, pivotal member of the team, and, you know, just true superstar, my right-hand person, agency owner, Ms. Courtney Wallace. All right, so we're going to kick with Rich first. Rich, I know that it might have been, I don't want to say it's somewhat confusing, but when I sent this out and I said, hey, it's falling in love, doing it for more than a paycheck. So it speaks to the relationship side. It speaks to the impact side of what we do. You know, tell everybody a little bit about, you know, you, but a little bit about what this kind of, you know, topic and message means to you.
Absolutely. Can you hear me, Shawn?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody. Rich Osterhoudt. I'm Director Claus Luda in Shawn's organization, and very thankful for being here with everybody, you know, all the way up from Claus to Shawn to Larry to Marshall and Brandon, Casey, and Brian. You know, and this was something I had to really deeply think about, you know, this topic, you know, falling in love. But, you know, there's kind of like that old saying, you know, if you love what you do, it's not work, right? And, you know, we love our spouses, our children, right? You know, but, you know, when we can love what we do, then life can be easy, right? It can, you know, not that it's not hard with what we do in this business, right? And I think Brandon talked about it and Casey earlier today about, you know, pitfalls and difficulties, right? And working through those. But if you love what you do, it'll be easier to accomplish that, you know? And, you know, for me, it was like a little bit of a journey of finding where my place in the world was, what I love to do. You know, when I got out of school, when I was younger, I was in the car business for a long time. And I loved cars, but you know what? I hated the car business. Car business is awful. I'm sorry to say. I don't know how many people are in the car business here, you know, but the car business is awful. Love cars, right? But the business is terrible, you know. And, you know, as a guardian, as my kind of primary voice, you know, I like to help people. I like to protect people. You know, and the insurance business was something, and financial services was something that I found. Wasn't looking for it. And it's funny, you know, Shawn said he started with Aflac, and I started with Aflac in this business like almost 20 years ago. And it was actually somebody that I met through the car business that brought me into it. And I like the idea of helping people, you know, and that started to grow, you know, but, you know, I wanted so much more out of it. And I eventually started working in, you know, the financial world, you know, helping people with financial products. You know, I had a securities license at one time, worked on Wall Street, but I found that it was a very difficult thing to fall in love with because I was trying to help people, but there was too many outside forces, you know, the financial markets, things that we don't have control over. And I found a lot of pain in that business, right? So I really pivoted back to the insurance industry because that's truly felt like it was my calling. And I really love this business because I really like helping people, protecting their families, protecting their assets. It gives me a lot of pride and joy. And that helps me get through, you know, the hard times. You know, if 47 people hang up on me or say no, that's okay, because I'm just constantly looking for that person who wants my help and needs my help. That makes it easier. I know that if I keep searching, there's going to be, you know, a yes down the road, and I'm going to feel really good about helping that family, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I love you know, this business, because I get the opportunity to help people. And then, but that turned into a whole different thing even in recent times. You know, you mentioned that I'm getting, you know, into this agency owner run. And the thing that I found that I really love, maybe even more than helping people protect their families, is I love helping people that I've brought onto my team to help them to be successful. You know, helping them find financial freedom, helping them to find a calling in life, helping them to find a passion for what they do. You know, and so I spent a lot of time with people on my team to helping them to grow, helping them to become better people, and helping them to really love this business the way that I do. and a lot of people have said this over the years. I don't think anybody, when they were growing up and they said, nobody said, I want to be an insurance salesman. It's usually, I want to be a fireman or a police officer or the president of the United States, who knows? But this is a really noble business. It's not easy, but when you love it, love what you do, it makes it easy. So, that's kind of been my passion now, is really helping other people find their passion, find their place in the world, building a business and having that freedom for themselves and for their families, and that's been very empowering to me. And I just want to keep doing it more and more. It took me a while to kind of catch that bug. I mean, I've been here with Symmetry since 2016, and I started very slow, just like Shawn did. But really caught fire, with wanting to share this opportunity with people. And this company, I just learned to love this company too. I've worked with a lot of companies and very cold environments, very me. I've never been with a place that people shared so much love with each other and help, and everybody wanting to make sure that everybody succeeds. This is just an amazing company. So I love this company. I love the system that we have here. There's too many opportunities out there without a system, right? And I definitely love the organization that I'm part of. I mean, here in the Shannon organization, his agency owners, key leaders, his producers, everybody, we're a really tight-knit family, I think. And I love that, so using the word love a lot.
No, that's good. That's good. When you got love in the game, and you said too, like something that I thought was pretty remarkable and for everybody, when you love it, it makes it easier. And so, like, you think about any good relationship, even with, like, those of us with children, it makes it much easier to muscle through some of those things that they do, because you've got that unconditional love there. And so now, all right, you're an elite producer, and like, I think literally you personally placed just last week, I don't know, 15, 20,000, something pretty significant, right? So like last week was a good week in the Osterhoudt household, which is nice. But if you can share a nugget, just in terms of like the level up, starting very, very kind of part-time, and then progressively leveling up to a guy who's been like a habitual producer bonus earner, guy, maintaining, hitting promotions, getting to a place where, now again, you're an agency owner run, where you've really, really embraced the building side of the business. What's one, kind of key tip for somebody to level up from basic producer to significant producer, we'll say, or top producer or elite producer?
I mean, I think the number one nugget I can share is that you need to be, and it's hard, and you said this something earlier, is being disciplined. You have to be extremely disciplined. You need to have a schedule, you need to stick to it, and you need to do what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it. Be your best employee, right? This is your business. You're the CEO of your company. You need to be the superstar and hold yourself accountable to that. There's a lot of things about accountability partners and things like that. And we recently read a book, what is it? The 12-week year. And there was one thing that really stuck out to me, is that the only person you can be accountable to is yourself. And I hold myself accountable. So hold yourself accountable and be very disciplined. That's my nugget.
Great. And that's so true. It's that, like, accountability is a relationship, a self relationship kind of thing. It's like, what do you hold yourself accountable for? It's not a punishment that's put on you by somebody else. So, well, Rich, I appreciate you sharing, man. I'm excited to see you fire through the remainder of your AO qualifier here, man. And I'm fired up for you, buddy. And lots of appreciation. I'm excited to celebrate. Let's get this thing rolling so we can go out and celebrate, buddy. So, all right, man, cool. Well, thank you very much for being on. Our next guest, she is awesome, is one thing I will say. She has touched my heart like you wouldn't believe, and all the hearts of the people on her team. And, when Rich said he was a guardian first voice, this is a nurture first voice, but, she's kind of the heart of the Shannon team most times. So I just want to say, Ms. Dana Else, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Great, I can just share with everybody a little bit too. That same thing. It's like it's the falling in love side, and there's always excitement in falling in love, but then there's the staying in love, kind of side of it too. So what do you got for everybody?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me say thank you. I mean, it's an honor when we get to talk on these calls, nerve-wracking, but it's an honor. Brandon, Brian, Casey, oh my gosh, it's an amazing opportunity. It's changed my life. It's my family's future. It's totally impacted even who I've been evolving into. And that's a greater impact with all that I serve. So it's amazing. I mean, and when I think back 5 years ago, watching Marshall Whalen's overview, and the only thing I could think is this too good to be true. Wow, I mean, it's good. It's so good. You just got to work hard, and it's so worth it. So when you shared today's topic, doing it for love, not a paycheck. I mean, anybody knows me, I brain dump. I just go to town, start a brain dump, figure out my thoughts. And I swear, I think it looked like I was going to write a novel. So I hope to stick to 5 minutes. But, I'm driven by love. So I didn't know exactly where to start out of all the dump session, not being led by money itself, from the time I started, it was about time with my family. I had been trading, time for money or accomplishments in all of my past careers. So love of my family is where it all started. And y'all, I mean, it's okay. You got to start with selfish needs. That's where it starts. But I mean, let's face it, we work hard for our family, our quality of life. And, what I quickly realized though is, I mean, we get paid well to help people, and but we get to prioritize the time with the people that we're working hard for, and Symmetry totally embraces that. So that's why I'm so in love with the opportunity that we all get here at SFG. I'm hoping to share my perspective about how to actually harness and use that love for yourselves out of what I wanted to share out of this. So Rich, man, the pride that it just comes out of you, that it shows that you just shared seeing other people win, and how our love for this system and the company, I mean, that drives you, that drives us personally. So let me continue the thought about how love does prevail as us as entrepreneurs. So, you typically focus on return of investment, the ROI. I'd like to focus on the profitability and the ROR, return on relationships. So for ROR, value is going to accrue over time through loyalty, referrals, belief in sharing this opportunity with others. And, as even a producer, here's how ROR proves profitable. So you have your success as, how many referrals, repeat business, and if you're a numbers person out there, Rich, you're a guardian. So here's the calculation. If you take the number of repeat clients or referrals you've had in the last 12 months, divide that by the total number of clients you've helped. If that in itself is the calculation. And if you want to increase your impact quotient, be better for the client, grow the relationships, and you're going to see that exponentially increase year over year. So, it's who you are, how you share with clients, that their relationship is important to you, and that yields the trust that brings you the referrals, and if you really focus on the people, the money's going to happen. So do it for love. Now, my perspective of the love from a building side, our core values, our cornerstone. I know when you're new, it may seem like it's words, but it becomes a process of living by them as you become more seasoned. And the reality to understand from the beginning is that they're the basis for growing love. The love of the process, the love of the people, the love of the growth that happens within you. I mean, the love of our culture that we have here. So I had shared that I didn't have much belief when I had started. Is this real? I was desperate for the paycheck, but am I worthy of the time I'm really wanting? That's where I started. I'd be on these national calls and I'd hear crazy numbers, and I'd wonder, is this just for a few of the special ones, or could it be for me? The funny thing is, when I look back, and these were the thoughts of lack of belief. But the more I fell in love, the more things were there for me too. So it's my perspective that the more we fall in love, the bigger our belief grows, not the other way around. So belief is what gives you the return of investment. I've fallen in love with my team now that, and it's how I get to see it all blossom with return of relationships. The symmetry culture, it's very prominent in my agency. It's because if everything is about impacting people. So my biggest return of relationships has been duplication of belief. It starts with serving others, mentoring for their success, not our own. The opportunity to mentor, it means you have an opportunity to actually grow relationships. And that's definitely where love grows. So let me put it into a correlation. You brought up relationships earlier. So I was looking at, part of my brain dump of relationships. So in correlation, love grows in relationships in 4 stages. The first one, that initial mating, that attraction phase. Well, this is where for us, we're connecting with people and we invite them. So we invite the right people to our team to grow our family tree, right? And the second stage, it's that of a love interest, is that's curiosity, it's interest, infatuation. This is where we're going to show our best selves and, have a true interest in getting to know the other person. So what I found is when you ask more questions and you listen to capture glimpses of who they are, their stories of what's molded them into who they were so far, and to help create vision that, hey, there's so much more that we can do together. So that really is that infatuation phase of our relationship here. And then that next stage of relationships is the enlightenment stage. Now let's get real. We all have bad days. So, for here, time and an activity, that's when you actually show the good, the bad, the ugly sides of yourselves, right? But if you're in that enlightenment stage, you really are developing trust. So when the trust is stronger, you're willing to be more vulnerable. You're vulnerable to share with each other, and the other side is willing to share with you. And that's where you really do see, are they the right person? Are we the right couple per se? You develop deeper connections with each other, and that's allowing even more push and pull. And that's what creates the future vision of really, where will this be? And I think that's where the biggest buy-in happens with our agents. And that's where the biggest growth in a mentor relationship really is, right? Because that last stage of a relationship is a full-on commitment. Now, you don't always have to be talking about marriage, but you sure are looking to see that commitment. And it just is what presents that just won't quit, because you're so fully committed. You're committed to that vision of the future. You're committed to each other, and when you really, this is when you see each other's values. And when you have those values and here you are, you start to share those values. You've known they're there, but this is where you really see you are connected. And when those values align, that's when we truly thrive on each other's success with everything that we do. So, this is why you'll hear so much edification upline, because it's the love that's become a lasting commitment. And think about your relationship. Think about it with your sidelines, your run-in buddies, your upline. Like, where are you in these phases? Do you want to edify? Do you recognize how you really do help them thrive? And that, to me, is why this relationship, example of showing how the more connected you become, the more you are driven to achieve that next level. Rich is excited to hit that AO because of his downline success, not because of his own. And that's because he's creating this marriage with folks that are in it, that are committed. So to me, this commitment stage is really where it creates the most return of investment that you've been waiting for. That's what you've been wanting. So, you don't even see just how working so hard for someone else to achieve, it really creates the best success for ourselves. And it's ironic how being so totally for someone else and growing love this much is going to become the motivation to push uphill. So to me, if you want to make sure that you're growing, evaluate, and work on your return of relationships. So I gave you a usable nugget with production. Here's my nugget for the building side, the building your teams. Make sure you're spending time in all 4 phases of this relationship. Don't rush it. And it will be different paces with different people. Ask questions, get to know them, and really listen. It's okay to take notes, all right, but refer back to it, think through it, because it's a way of staying engaged in your next conversation you have. And at the beginning, ask them, where do we leave off? It helps you to kind of check if they were as engaged as you were. And, I think it's funny, making sure you're in the same phase with that person. You all hear, don't name your puppies. This is why you hear it, is because it's recognition that you may want to get married, but nothing proves they want to. So I have a phrase, create a pit bull. They'll name themselves. And the art of creating is the very aspect of phase 3. That is when you'll be ready to be at each other's side, to be reliable for each other, and you will get to phase 4 together. In your meetings, take time, ask what others are excited about. It's not just about what you want to talk about, find out where they are. And then throughout all of it, just help people love themselves a little more by showing them that the small wins that they're excited about, they matter, and they should. It should matter to them. And sometimes they just don't recognize how much they do win. And from a team culture, the more positives people are getting to share, you're creating that environment. You're making it one of camaraderie, and you have more support and growth and cheering. And guess what? People are willing to share more when it's the good, the bad, the ugly. It helps move you through those phases, and love develops. So remember what happens with more love? You get more belief. With more belief, there's your team explosion. So that return of investment, it's there in the return of relationship. So that's what I kind of wanted to share with the love of my family.
Awesome. Well, you are definitely our family. And I love what you said, return on relationships, ROR. And then a big point for everybody too, if you didn't write it down, but the more we fall in love, the bigger our belief grows. I think that's so powerful to what occurs here. And just that, and that, which makes it really exciting, because the bigger your belief grows, the bigger your business grows. Like, that's such a cool correlation. But thank you very much, Dana. Appreciate you so much for sharing and pouring into everybody. Excited for our next guest. This is the official national unveiling of this individual. She, like I said, she had smashed it on the Symmetry Open. And probably is definitely, if I'm a betting man, a front runner as we're coming up to November to remember and all those kind of fun things. But crushing it, natural sales talent and ability coming here, undeniable work ethic, and now embracing the side of building and leading, which is a challenge, but awesome. And one I definitely think you're up to. But Ms. Jennifer Jivani, how are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. How are you?
Cool. Well, officially welcome to Symmetry Nation. Let's talk to everybody. Tell everybody who you are and all those kind of fun things.
So, man, how awesome is Dana else? She just always pours so much into us. I always get she always makes me cry. So I'm Jennifer. Hi, Symmetry. What's up? Shawn, it's crazy to look back when you sent us the email about the love that we have and just falling in love with this business. It just made me reflect. It really made me reflect on my life. And as I look at the course that I've been on and things that have happened, it feels like I was just meant to be here. From being young to my first marriage, my ex-husband is the one that introduced me to Symmetry. He's one of my great friends. And I can't tell you how fortunate I feel to be a part of such an amazing company. As far as falling in love, it's such a broad answer, but I'm just totally in love with the whole company, from what they've built, for us as far as culture goes. I've never had such a huge group of people rally around me and uplift me. It's such an overwhelming feeling sometimes, like, oh my gosh, and lots of pressure too, but it's a broad answer, so I want to break it down. Symmetry just means balance, right? And what we're looking for is it's twofold. So as far as clients go, I love doing appointments. I love helping families. Our clients, we help them figure out that balance if something was to happen, that balance financially, right? So I go back to my life journey, and I have an 11-year-old daughter. I have two girls. I have an 11-year-old, her name's Natalie, and then I have a 2-year-old gangster. Her name is Nori. But when Natalie was 4, she was diagnosed with leukemia, and that's cancer. She had to have 2.5 years of treatment. And I was working a full-time job in a dentist office, selling teeth basically. And she was going to daycare every day, just living our life. And then boom, one day it just turned all the way upside down. Okay, this is a life event. It's a huge life event. As a single mother, I was the only income. So at that time, I was ready to just lose everything we had, as long as I could just bring my baby back home. I just wanted to bring her back home. So it's insane because a year prior to her being diagnosed, I picked up a policy from a guy named Blake, and he was also with Aflac. So Blake sat me down and he educated me about insurance and how important it was to have, and how if something happened, it could help us. He didn't just worry about me. He was worried about my whole family, everybody, me and Natalie, it was just us. And he was worried about all of us. And he did his due diligence in teaching me and educating me so that I can make an educated decision on what to have. I picked up everything. I just took everything he was offering me, and he covered me all the way. So when I sit down with clients, I want to have the same love. I want them to have the same love for me that I have with Blake. Because when Natalie was diagnosed with leukemia, I think he called me like a week after she was diagnosed and said, hey, we need to go ahead and file the claim for Natalie. And I kind of got upset because I thought, you know, life insurance is if you pass away, somebody gets a check to take care of, you know, your debts. And I said, no, Blake, she's going to make it. She's not going to pass away. And he said, no, you have cancer coverage. This is a living benefit. That policy allowed me to stop working the whole 2.5 years that she had to go through treatment. We didn't have to move. We stayed where we were at. We were able to fight this cancer in the comfort of our home. And it just really saved us. It saved us financially. I don't know what it would have looked like if I had to worry about Natalie making it through treatment. And financially, what are we going to do? I don't know how I would have handled that. So looking back and knowing how these products could benefit our clients, when we sit down with them, we're saving them. We're saving them. If they have a life event that happens, we're saving them mentally and financially. That's balance. That's what Symmetry stands for. I'm so blessed to be a part of a company that not only do we help our clients, but our company cares about us. So balance-wise, going into building and sharing this wonderful opportunity with as many people as we can, there's no cap on that either. They don't say like, we can only take, 20 new recruits this week. They don't say that. They say, hey, share this with everybody. Share it with everybody that you know. But the balance comes in with the self-development. Self-development is one of our core, it's a part of our culture. It's the culture that we've built. So when I met Marshall Whalen, it was one of the greatest days of my life. Now, I won a trip to his house, and the first thing when we sat down to talk, he said, what book are you reading? I've never been a part of a company that says, hey, go read a book to help yourself develop yourself. I've never been a part of something like that. So as far as falling in love, I'm in love with all of Symmetry. In the year I've been here, my life, the way I look at myself, the way I speak to my children, the way I conduct business, my life has completely changed. It really has. And sharing this opportunity with the team that I'm starting to build now, one of the biggest part of happiness for me is seeing them see what kind of legacy that they can build for their family. Everybody has that success down in them that they see for them, their life, like for your life. You can see that success, like you can feel it, and you know that's what you want. You want to leave such a huge legacy behind for your family. And Symmetry gives us that insight. If you want to see what your future can look like, look around. Look around to the people who are standing next to you and leading you, your mentors. Look around. It's a painted picture of what you can actually be here in Symmetry. I'm in love with it. That's what I'm in love with. And I can't wait to share it with more people. My goal this year is to help change 15 lives. This is definitely more than a paycheck. The money is a byproduct. And Shawn, I'm so grateful for you, and thank you for inviting me on the call today.
Awesome. You crushed it. I really appreciate you sharing your story. I mean, it's so powerful and just so awesome. And I think too, like when you said, I want the people that you sit down with to have the same love for me that you had for Blake, who was somebody that had sat down with you. It's such testament to, one, your level of success, which is awesome. And it's just scratching the surface, but two, like what we do in terms of impact here. So, and then Casey, did you want to say
that? Thank you for that, Jennifer, and all of you guys so far. Just an amazing call. My phone's blowing up over here. So
yeah,
much needed topic and content and everything you guys are hitting on today. Just so good. Thank you for that. Just
awesome.
wanted to jump on and say that.
Awesome. And one thing too, Casey, think about this.
Yeah.
When Jennifer just said something, I just text Marshall this. Do you think 10 years ago that he thought that people would be like fighting like crazy to win a trip to his house?
No, not at all.
There's no way.
No.
It's something that's like so many of us have been there and we're like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back to Marshall's.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Such a cool experience.
Heck yeah. So testament to you guys for creating that, testament to you, Jennifer, for qualifying and getting there. And I'm excited to bring on our last guest for the call today. She also too has won trips to Marshall's house, which is cool and exciting. But I can't say enough about this person. It just, when you meet a Titan, sometimes you may get almost, intimidated because you're like, man, this person is like destined for greatness. And, I feel that way about this person, but major impact to my agency, to Symmetry, to so many others. And I just wanted to say, welcome to the call, agency owner, Courtney Wallace.
That was really sweet. Thank you. Trying to get me to cry before I come on here.
That's what I try to do. I think that like Roy Firestone or somebody like that, like 30 years ago, used to do that for like all of his guests. They'd come out and start crying. So there you go.
Don't do that. I don't have waterproof mascara on today. So I don't think it would look pretty. But hello, everybody. Courtney Wallace here. I'm an agency owner in Shawn's organization. I'm direct to the wonderful agency director, Chris Goheen, in the Shannon Master Whalen hierarchy. And truthfully, I'm so excited, blessed, honored to be here. It's very difficult to go up after just such, impactful people. But I'm hoping today you guys can take away something awesome, truthfully plug it into your business. But I will start a little bit about me and my journey here. So I came here to Symmetry in May of 2018. I came here full-time college student with the intent of law school. So I started out as Shawn's assistant, had zero intentions of ever doing this business full-time, and truthfully did not look at this with like any long-term vision, and really did look at this as just like a paycheck. Few months in, I saw all the money that everybody was making, and I was like, okay, well, maybe we should do the licensing course. Ended up getting licensed October of 2018. Did absolutely nothing with that accomplishment. Just like Shawn said, he was a code number. I was a code number there for a minute. Ended up graduating with my bachelor's degree in May of 2019. And at that point, I had given myself a year. I said, if you can make agency owner within a year, we'll make this place your home. And then fast forward, here we are, super excited that I was able to accomplish that. But in that 3.5 years that I've been here, I went from thinking this was just like a pit stop, a paycheck, a temporary home, to really seeing this for what it truly is. It's a business, it's a legacy, and most importantly, like Dana said, it's a family. If you were to ask me, like how the journey has went so far, I could easily say it's been empowering, it's been challenging and exciting, probably all rolled into one. But just like a relationship, this business is a two-way street. So I don't know if anybody here has ever experienced a one-sided relationship. It's terrible, and I have. And if you haven't, consider yourself lucky. But that was me when I first started here. I focused on myself. I focused on what paycheck I could get and what was in it for me. And if looking back, it's like I had a temporary mindset, but I was chasing a forever home. And it didn't add up, and really, it truthfully became like a toxic relationship. My business didn't start growing until I changed my own perspective and my own thoughts. One mistake that I think a lot of us, make is that we think, we are who we are, or we can't change who we are. And if you really think about it, your thoughts, they actually become your belief. Right? And what we believe to be true becomes our expectations. Your expectations dictate your attitude, and your attitude directly impacts how you behave, right? So this becomes your state of being, right? Or you may have heard it as like your vibration. And ultimately you attract what you are, right? So that like-minded vibrations, if you've ever heard of law of attraction, it's the same thing, right? So I came here with a temporary mindset. I was hesitant, I was guarded, truthfully confused, and maybe some of you are on the call today feeling that same way. But what I realized was that a temporary mindset was never going to build me that forever home. And so what I started to do is I started growing. I started learning. I started educating myself on people, life, growth, being a leader, being selfless, most importantly, how to become the best version of myself. And when I learned to control my thoughts, I learned how to take full control of my life back, right? Of my outcomes, of my happiness. And it didn't become a paycheck anymore. It was the foundation that I was building and a place to call home, and I'll leave everybody with this. The third area that breaks up marriages after income and intimacy is imagination. So what I mean by that is undiscussed expectations. What you think it should be like versus the reality of truthfully what it is. Don't make this business a failed marriage, right? Commit to relentless pursuits of growth and development, invest in yourself, invest in your team, and most importantly, cast vision, share dreams, and create a strong communication. I cannot promise to each and every one of you that you are not going to take 5 steps backwards. I've taken way more than that. But I can promise you this: if you do not quit and if you keep going, 5 steps backwards will become 10 steps forward, right? You've got to remember that, you are an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are resourceful, and that does mean that you can figure anything out. So that's what I got today, and I hope that that was helpful.
Yeah, it was so powerful, so powerful. You used too the word of the year, which is invest. You said invest in yourself, invest in your team, and if you do that again and again and again, it becomes those, as you said, those 5 steps backwards become 10 steps forward. It's just so remarkable, so powerful. And it's, for everybody, just kind of imparting. And I want to say, a special thank you to each and every one of you guys or gals for coming on the call here today and just sharing and pouring into everybody. It makes me so happy and excited and proud and fired up for what's going to happen for each and every one of you over the next 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, all those things. But you're all testament to getting a little bit better each day. And regardless of what happens, because legendary comes from longevity. If you get a little better, that 0.1% better each day, just like Brian Tracy talks about, you can have a 10,000% increase in any area of your life, over a long enough timeline. And that's where it's awesome. So it's like, my question for everybody in closing is this: how do you get a little bit better today on something that matters, and get a little bit better tomorrow on that same thing, and a little bit better the next day and the same thing, a little bit better the next day and the same thing? And it just has to be a little bit, right? And put it into play, put it into practice, put it into your business, your scripts, your interactions, your activity, all that kind of stuff. And you'll have no idea how far you can go. So in closing, reminder, you have a couple days left for the month to impact your placed business for the month, which is going to impact your promotions, your bonuses, your slingshot. Obviously, there's probably lots of contests going on in your business, and if there's not, then you should create one. That's what leaders do, and just look at it as like, okay, what am I going to create in the last quarter of this year? It's already started. We're in Q4 of the year. The holidays are coming. How can you make sure you have nice and toasty, super warm holiday experiences because your wallet is overflowing? It's a very important question to ask yourself, and ask yourself, what can I do right now to make sure my holidays are great for myself and those that I love? So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for pouring on. Thanks everybody at Symmetry. Thank you, Casey, for having us. Appreciate you guys.
Great call, guys. Thank you. Let's go out and have a monster week. Thanks, guys.